in a relationship with a man, you have to listen to what he says and how he feels about women in general. Because a lot of us are dating men that are homosocials. And homosocials mean that he's not homosexual at all. He just does not find women interesting. Everything that he finds interesting.
Homosocials. Homosocials. All right, look, check it out. I will be happy. I will be dancing and rejoice and excited when the day comes where we stop finding a damn label like it's a seasoning for a behavior that we can't explain or that we haven't fully studied and understood. Now, this woman is a comedian. I've seen her in content and she's pretty funny. Tonight's conversation, I don't know if that's the new direction that they're going or what. Maybe this is old content. I don't know, but I came across it and I was like, okay, I definitely find this interesting. We got to get to the point and stop wasting time on trying to put a label on every single person, every single behavior, every single personality. You're homo this, you're anti this, you're gay, you're this, all of these different labels. And we're not even getting to the point, the meat and potatoes of how we can identify the problem and then solve it. I definitely am about identifying the problem and solving it. But it just sounds like another divisive conversation between men and women and being more so critical on a man's behavior and thought process than holding women accountable. And here we are. So, yes, she said the homo, I don't know, we'll go back to it, but let's let Daphne, I think that's her name, finish her point.
Something to do with other men, going to sporting events, hanging out with them, watching the game, playing basketball. If you ask them, hey, what do you think about this comedian? Oh, she not funny. You don't think no women are funny? Oh, what do you like to do with?
Yeah, I feel like that was personal because she a female comedian, but go ahead.
Everything involves another male. So they only find desire in having sexual experiences with women, but they don't find women interesting. And if you listen to that, you can save yourself a lot of trouble up front because you'll find out he really don't like women like that. Because everything he finds interesting in is stuff that him and his homeboys would do. Him and his homeboys will like photos on Instagram. Him and his homeboys will try to send photos that are inappropriate back and forth. That's what he finds interesting. In a relationship with a man, you have to listen.
Okay. All right, look, check this out. She just said, go play basketball, watch certain things. Look, here's the reality. I love my wife. I do. Oh, I do. I love her. She's amazing. She does not like the things that I like to watch. She'll try to thug it out, but that's not what she want to watch. And she knows I don't like watching certain things that she likes to watch. We are just different. There are some couples that will watch all the Harry Potters. Now, I will say this. Me and my wife are huge Fast and Furious franchise fans. Like the way that people feel about Star Wars, that's how we feel about Fast and the Furious. But it's more of storyline and we have a love for cars, right? But the point is the examples that Daphne was using were terrible. And the reason why is because she named a whole bunch of things that are common for men to do with their friends. Play basketball, talk about sports, or even the whole sending certain things to each other in DMs. Man, look, when those men were little kids, because they're probably millennials and a little bit older, they didn't send photos. They were Hustler magazines and Playboy magazines. Hey, look. That's how you sent them in the DMs back in the day in the era that I come from. So that was a terrible example. But she also kind of like really put women out there because my thing is women are very comfortable with each other. And I've said this on the podcast. I don't even remember where I got the quote from. So if somebody knows where the quote comes from, put it in the comments. I appreciate you in advance. Women understand women and they hate each other. So that's why I also understand why she would say, well, men are too invested in their homeboys and stuff like that, because women can get over each other real quick. Women can be best friends, hugging and loving. This is my best friend. I love you, sis. And, a couple drinks come in and the wrong thing gets said. They squabbling. So there's one fact about women that a lot of women agree with. The other thing, too, is if you're going to talk about what men do, there's a ton of things that women do with each other. get their hair done together, get their nails done together. They go work out together. They go on secret missions to mess up their ex's property together. They go scope out that bitch, that they don't like or that was looking at their man together. They will go on sting operations together. They will get together like the Avengers and try to deconstruct certain things on social media to find out if your man is cheating or who the chick is, who's this chick in the comments. Women do so much things together that they could be enemies, but they have a what the enemy of my enemy is my friend or however that goes. Your enemy is my enemy, so we're friends. However it goes. It's late. Anyways, women will band together with ops if it's important enough. Women do so much more with each other than men do. So for her to hyper focus on men and not liking a woman and all of this other stuff, there are certain things that men just don't like about women. And guess what? Well, check this out. There's things about men that women don't like. Oh, yes, it's true. It's true. But it's okay because we're human. I think people need to understand that it's okay to not like your husband sometimes, and it's okay to not like your wife sometimes because you're human. Your kids don't like you, and sometimes you don't like your kids. It don't take nothing away from what you're gonna do for them, how much you love them, how much you can not like them, but let somebody else not like them. Now I don't like you. We got a problem because that's mine right there, and you don't. We'll get defensive about these people very fast. So if a man says that women don't make them laugh, if that's true, then that's true. Here's my thing. Women have this habit like that'll say all of these things about men and then put a label on him. And it was very, very bland. It was very, very surface level things. When you do stuff like that, it's also a contradiction because it's like, by that logic, by her saying that, oh, well, if you don't think because the whole comedian comment, I knew that was personal because out of all the things that you could have used an example, of course, it's your profession. But the point that I'm making is that if you sit up there and say that you have a problem because certain things don't entertain you, listen, there's white people out there that do not find anything in black in some of our classic black films funny. That could just be a cultural thing. Or that could just be it's not their cup of tea as far as comedy. And vice versa. Me and my brother, we laugh all the time and joke about stuff like that. But there are certain movies that I watch that I find funny that he don't. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean like I'm more understanding and more variety than him. That's just not his cup of tea. That's just not that person's cup of tea. We can't sit up here and say that just because nobody likes your jokes, Daphne, that they're homo, whatever you made up or whatever this word is. That's not how that works. There are some people that black people alone. That's a running joke in comedy. If you can make black people laugh, you straight because we so serious and we give our own people a hard time. That was just a terrible example. Um, I don't agree with her on that. If there's men out there that genuinely dislike women, not just because women feel like the man dislike them, he's probably not going to be attracted to him or want to sleep with him like that. And so that would be an irrelevant conversation anyway, because why would you want to talk about something you wouldn't want to deal with? But anyways, let's go on to the second part of what she was saying.
Interesting.
She said, homosocial. I said, listen, I said,
homosocial.
Hold on.
Hey, put that on a card.
My are just cool. I mean, I just like them. They just fun to hang around. I don't know.
That's my dog.
Right,
but it's okay for that to be your dog, but do you also find joy in hanging out with your wife or your spouse or your significant other? Some men don't find any joy in women. They don't find them entertaining. They don't think they're good actresses. They don't think they're good politicians. And that will manifest within the relationship.
But that's also because some women don't know how to provide the peace that our boys provide either.
Another point. See, the other thing that women, a woman like her, she doesn't sound like she's had friends for a very long time either. And I notice a lot of women that don't have long-term friendships will have this feeling or this anti-brotherhood or critique you with your friends. Fellas, this is definitely for you guys. If you have women out there that are really overly critical about the relationship you have with your homeboys or, you know, the people you grew up with. As long as it's not a danger to your life or hers or your kids or, you know, risk your freedom. But just complaining because you have this allocated time and this dynamic with those men, always evaluate her relationships with her friends or just her relationships in general. And a lot of times you'll find out that they don't have the same type of dynamics that you have with your friends. Always losing friends, don't know how to keep friends, don't have any friends from way back in the day. And so the reason why I say that is because a lot of women that do have friends from way back in the day and they've known each other since, you know, the sandbox, they're going to be totally understanding. And they're going to be able to relate to you, and you guys, your friend group and her friend group or vice versa might actually click because you guys know how to deal with people and be around people to sustain relationships that long. Straight up. So when women do that, the first thing you should do is analyze the friendships. And then if she does have friends, because there might be somebody in the comments like, and if she does have friends, what type of relationships does she have? Positive, healthy relationships with her friends? Because if she truly does, she's not going to critique yours unless it's, you know, threatening to, you know, your sanity in your life. But yeah, that's not what that means. Homosocial and all that stuff. People don't like their husband and their wife because over time they just lose feelings. They don't fix problems. They become more of a problem to each other. One complains too much, one doesn't speak up enough, and all of these other things that has nothing to do with the outside forces. People need to stop taking outside things and making that the reason why your relationship isn't working. You too are the reason why your relationship does not work. If you know why a lot of couples don't like to do things with each other and are not into the same shit? You know why? Because a lot of people lie when they start dating. You know that whole concept of you didn't meet me, you met my representative? That's what happens in a lot of relationships. Because if you're truly transparent, you truly are a nerd, you truly are ratchet, or whatever the case is from Jump Street, if you're 100% authentically yourself from Jump Street with each other, and you guys still continue despite whatever you think about the authenticity of each other, you're going to find things that you guys like, or you're going to start doing things together that you didn't know you like, and now you have something you can enjoy. Me and my wife have plenty of things that we can enjoy. And I'm gonna be real, me and my wife was bumping heads when we were young and trying to date. We didn't know what the hell we were doing, and we didn't have the best teachings at times either. But the point that I'm making is that if you're 100% showing who you really are when you meet each other, when you date, in the DMs, wherever, you're gonna find things that you enjoy. Because if you do show who you really are, she shows who she really is. You know what's gonna happen? You're either gonna say I'm with it or I'm not. And if you're with it, both of you guys are. You're bound to find things that you guys like. And if you don't, okay, fine. But this mission, like all the other missions to the damn moon, um, with every time a man doesn't do something that women think he should be doing, there's a label and he's this and he's that. You should look within yourself. If you're criticizing a person for having friends and you ain't got none, then we need to figure out if the issue is really that. So I disagree with Daphne. Um, a lot of men have brotherhoods with their friends, and maybe some of you women need to sit down and have a conversation with men and ask why are they so close to their cousin or their best friend or their group of friends. What happened? What started that? What made you feel like you can trust them and this, that, and the other? I bet you a lot of these women that are agreeing with her, that will agree with her, don't ask them kind of questions with a man. They'll probably cackle, or they'll probably be like, "Oh, you always doing this? I don't see what the big deal is," but never just come honest and from a place of really wanting to understand. And you might learn something. You might realize, oh damn, I didn't realize your boys were there, you know, when your parents passed away. Or man, I didn't realize you didn't have nowhere to live and such mom took you in and you ended up being close to all of them. You don't know people's story. So that was very irresponsible advice from Daphne. Other than that, I still think she's an amazing comedian and she does great content and she's funny. Just do better. Anyways, you guys let me know what you think about those comments. that she made in the comment section. Let me know what you think. I definitely want to engage and hear what you guys have to say. And thanks for tuning in to Thoughts of Dizzy on the Epic Lounge Network. Until next time, holla at your boy. I'm out of here.